What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm here to review Love Island. This is season 7. We'll be reviewing episodes 1 through 3. So let's go ahead and jump right into the show. Yes, we are here for a new season with new singles. And let's go ahead and talk about who we met. So, first things first, the black girls in their braids, baby, they are in the house. Now, we meet Shelly. She is a day trader, I believe. She's 27. She's from New York. No, I think she lives in New York. She's from Miami. And here's the thing. She dates women and men, but she don't do no labels, okay? Next person that we meet is Olandria. She's from Alabama. You know, she does like her southern men. And she works in the elevator and escalator business. I have never heard of anyone working in that business, but shout out to her. All right, the next lady that comes in, we meet Huda. She is 24 years old. She is a fitness coach, and she's Middle Eastern, right? Now, here's the thing. She has a child. So, I feel like for her, she is going to definitely have to choose wisely when it comes to these guys, because every guy does not want to date a woman who has a child already, okay? Now, one thing that I will say is that she opened up to the girls quickly. She told them flat out that, you know, she's a mom. However, she only wants it to be between herself and these two ladies for now, okay? Because she don't want everybody telling her she's a mom, and whatever guy that she's interested in, she would rather tell them herself instead of it being like hearsay. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Y'all, the next lady we meet is Bella. When I tell you I was so annoyed with the way her name was spelled, I'm just like, girl, what's going on? It's literally spelled Belle-A. Like, girl, what is that? Like, I'm just so confused. Nonetheless, she is the youngest girl so far. She's 22 years old. Honestly, she's giving a girl who is low-key a hopeless romantic, but really, I don't know. I feel like she not really cut out for this show. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. Then we meet Yulissa. Y'all, she is 27 years old. She owns a mobile bar, and she lets us know that she was in a 9-year relationship. Well, baby, when I saw her, I'm just like, something ain't right. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but something's not right with her. Now, that is the ladies. As far as Ariana, you know, she does join the ladies just to kind of see how they're feeling, what type of guys they're into, and that's cool and all. But let's get into who has arrived for the guys. Now, we meet Nicholas and Ace first. So, here's the thing. When Ace sees Shelly, he realizes, wait, I know her. Basically, they met in person before, randomly. We're talking on Instagram. However, because it was going to be like a long distance thing, they didn't really pursue it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now, keep in mind, Ace is only 22 years old. I said, oh, okay, so she got like 5 years on you. All right. Trying to make her a little cougar. So, he's from LA. He's a family guy. And he owns his own dance company. Now, y'all, I don't know much about the dance company. However, I have absolutely seen his videos online where he's like showing these guys how to like grind and dance. It's hilarious. His videos are really good though. Then we see that Nicholas, he's 24. He's actually a nurse. And the thing about him is that he says he loves for a girl to be a little bit crazy. I'm like, okay, Nick, I see you. You like a little bit of toxicity in your life. But that's okay. We gonna roll with it. So the next guy that comes in, it's Taylor. He's 24 years old. He's from Oklahoma. He's a rodeo competitor. However, he's also in vet school. And he has 4 horses. I said, oh, okay. That's interesting. We got us a little cowboy. And then the next guy that we meet is Jeremiah. He's 25. He's a model as well as a caterer. And we learned that he cheated on his ex. Like, we quickly learned that. However, according to him, you know, he learned from that experience. And Do I feel like he's a cheater? Maybe not. But he's low-key giving a playboy. Like, when I first initially saw him, I'm like, I don't know. I will say, a lot of the guys, like, they cute or whatever, but they giving player for sure. So, last person that we see is Austin. Austin is 26 years old. He lives in Florida. And y'all, he a pool boy. And I'm just like, a pool boy? It's given that you be, probably hooking up with them old women who you be cleaning their pools. I don't put it past them. That's the vibe I'm getting. Y'all let me know what y'all think. So, baby, we got to couple up, right? Now, how we are deciding on coupling up is the ladies will kiss two guys and then choose who she wants to be with. So first, Shelly goes over to Austin. I was surprised. I said, girl, what? Austin? Okay, plot twist. So she goes over to him, kisses him. Then she goes to Ace. And baby, I'm like, yeah, she about to go with Ace, like, for sure. But that's not who she chose. She went with Austin. I was like, oh, plot twist. Maybe she wants to see, we're playing safe, I guess, and go with Austin. I don't know what the game plan is. Next thing you know, we see Huda. I got to figure out how to pronounce her name. But she chose Jeremiah, right? She chose Jeremiah to kiss first. Then she chose Ace, but then she went with Jeremiah. The next person was Bella. She chose to kiss Taylor. And here's the thing. It was just a kiss on the cheek. And then when she went over to Nick, same thing, just a kiss on the cheek. And I'm like, oh, okay, Bella, this is interesting because, baby, the way everybody else is on this show, I mean, they are swapping spit left and right, okay? But not her. So, like I said, she chose Nick. And then we get to Alondria. So, Alondria, she goes for Taylor. And she goes for Nick. But in the end, she ends up choosing Taylor. And we see Yulissa. Now, I'm thinking, this girl is going to go for somebody who hasn't been chosen, okay? Oh, wait, I just realized something. I just said that wrong, y'all. We gotta jump back. Shelly did not choose Austin initially. She chose Ace. But then Yulissa came around and she made sure to kiss not only Ace, but she also kissed, I want to say Jeremiah? Yeah, I think she kissed Jeremiah. However, here's the difference. Ace, it was a sloppy little kiss. However, Jeremiah only gave her a kiss on the cheek. AKA, girl, I don't want you. Okay? Scoot back. I already got my girl. And we literally hear Ace say under his breath, like, damn, I fucked up. You sure did. So, what does she do? She chooses Ace. And here's the thing. Austin now has to be paired with Shelly. I said, oh, baby, this is going to get so messy, and I'm ready for it. Now, we do see everybody explore the house. We see a conversation happen between Alondria and Taylor. And here's the thing. When Alondria first came into the house, she was definitely giving, I'm going to be my best representative. I'm going to drop my accent because she's a country girl. However, as she's talking to Taylor, baby, that accent was creeping out left and right. They over here shooting the shits about, what they like to eat and fishing and, all the things. Now, she says that she really does want a man to appreciate her. And I feel like that's what every woman should want, okay? Do we think Taylor is going to give that to her? I don't know. Now, it does sound like he's checking off some of her boxes. But yeah, we still don't really know much about Taylor and the way he moves. So, we then go over to Shelly and Austin. And basically, he's like, if the shoes were reversed, he would have chose Bella and Shelly. And here's my thing. He feels like there was only a 30% chance that he would have been chosen by Shelly. And here's the thing. It's only day one. Do I think that Shelly actually likes him? I think she may think that he's cute. But it's very clear that she definitely has a strong attraction to Ace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of made me wonder, honestly, did she kiss Austin first to kind of throw off the other girls? or what. But nonetheless, y'all, we get this conversation with Ace and Ulissa. They talk about their families and stuff. But baby, when I tell you that man is sitting there and wishing that he was with Shelly right now, like he's trying to have, a conversation, but it's very clear, you can see it on his face. His head was not with Ulissa. He wants to be over there with Shelly. As far as Bella and Nick goes, baby, listen. I just feel like Bella wants to take things very slow, and that's not exactly how this show works. You know what I'm saying? And, this guy, he's hoping for a real kiss at this point because now they're coupled up. And when he said, yeah, this is kind of like a middle school pace, I said, oh, baby, he gonna dump her. I already knew. I said, he's going to dump her because she's not moving at the same pace as him. He's just not the guy for her. Jeremiah and Huda, they have really good chemistry. They have a lot of things in common. However, I'm just like, the way y'all are already acting, I can already tell y'all about to be low-key possessive of each other. And that may be a little problem. So the boys and girls separate, and they just kind of talk about what basically just happened. Now, here's the thing. Sure, Ace is happy that he got to kiss Shelly. Who cares? Here's my thing. We get to Ulissa, okay? Because the ladies are over there talking, and she's like, I wasn't trying to be messy. This was based on looks, and, I don't really, date people off of looks. And I'm just like, okay, girl, at this point, you're rambling. It sounds like you're just trying to save face because you still want to be cool with Shelly. Just say, you know what? I think he's attractive. I wanted to, see what that was about. Be so for real about yourself. Stand in it. You took the girl's first option. That's fine. Everybody got to get to know each other. And what was interesting is that all the girls at this point are like, yeah, because, we're like sisters. This is a sisterhood. I'm like, baby, it is day one. I need for y'all to relax, okay? So we jump on over to Ace, and baby, he's just so excited to be there. He is so excited. Now, Jeremiah, something about him, he gives off, he's a lover boy. However, at the same time, I'm like, this may quickly turn into love bombing, okay? I don't know, it's something about him that I'm just like, okay, Jeremiah, this is definitely giving that you may be a love bomber and this shit may tank. So when everybody gets ready for bed, right? One thing that annoyed me was when Ace looked over to Ulissa and said, what up, queen? Queen? Queen for Ulissa? Listen, first of all, I don't even like the term queen when anybody says it. But I've only really heard people say, what's up, queen, to black women. Not Latinas. But I'm just kind of like, what's happening here? But nonetheless, we got to get to the next day. So Ulissa basically tells Bella that, she really likes Ace. And how, I get so nervous when I talk to him. And she's like, I just want everyone to have fun. However, Bella, she says that, she needs to step out of her own comfort zone. Now, I do agree with that. Bella, you do need to step out of your comfort zone and just open up a little bit more. So then we see Ace having a conversation with Nick, and he's like, he didn't expect to get stolen. However, he does want to explore his options. Yet he also makes it clear that he definitely has eyes on Shelly. So as for Nick, he's rocking with Bella for now. However, after he kissed Alondria, he like, baby, I got eyes for her. I said, oh, okay. We down with the swirl. Okay, Nick. Here's my thing. We jump over to Shelly and Austin, y'all, and they talk about, all these ambitions for, her future marriage, right? And here's the thing. She consistently said how she want to be married and have a family and all the things. However, Austin ain't never mentioned the word marriage. He just kept saying, yeah, I want to make sure to have a family and all these things. I'm like, well, do you even believe in marriage? I'm just curious because you don't give that you do. Like, I don't know. Something about Austin is very off for me. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something off. So, Huda and Jeremiah talk. And for me, it's very clear that these two like each other. He definitely has eyes for her. And then they start talking about their living situation. So he's like, I'm in LA. I have a roommate because, rent is so high. And here's the thing. She's from, I think, North Carolina. And she's like, yeah, I have my own place. I have a 2-bedroom. So he a little confused because he like, well, girl, what you got a second bedroom for? Like, who in there? Now, at this point, it's like, girl, are you going to tell him that you have a child? No. She says, oh, I'll just tell you about that later. So now his mind is wondering as to who is there. And I'm like, girl, you could have just said you have a second office or you use it as your gym. Something. Nonetheless, Ace does have a conversation with Shelly, baby. He been waiting on this. Y'all, he's flirting. He is giving her compliments and all the things. They walk far as hell away from everybody else. So she's telling him that, she wasn't even going to pick him at first, but she ended up choosing him. And then he asked her, how she felt after they kissed. And she's like, after he kissed Yulissa. That's what it was, how she felt about him kissing Yulissa. And she's like, that's the process. That's a part of the game. However, he is making it clear to her that, baby, at some point, he want her, okay? He's definitely going to make a play to get Shelly. Austin also has a conversation with Shelly. They talk about their childhood, how she used to catch tadpoles and shit. Not important. Adriana show up, okay? And Yulissa, she said something that stood out to me. She said, yeah, I really want people to start showing their real colors. I said, oh, like you did? Like, girl, something is off about you. No, thank you. So here's the thing. We about to play a game, baby, where we're going to blindfold a few people. Well, everyone, actually. And if you are interested in maybe exploring something with somebody else, raise your hand. I'm like, okay, this is about to get real good. So here's the thing. Nick, he goes first. And what does he do? He gets up, he kisses Alondria. I said, oh, okay. And they was low-key a little bit loud with it. So I'm like, I know people had to have heard that people were kissing, like, right next to them. So the next thing you know, Shelly, she gets up and she goes for Ace, of course. Like, I already knew that that's where she was going. And according to him, he knew that it was her, baby. Those lips felt familiar. And here's the thing. The kiss got a little bit nasty. I said, oh, okay, I see y'all. So then we see Alondra get up. Y'all, she got up and kissed Ace. For me, that was random as hell. Because I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't even think you were checking for him. But okay, girl. I guess. And last we see Ace. He goes for Shelly, of course. But plot twist, he also goes for Huda. I'm like, okay, I did not see that coming. So, baby, next thing we know, everybody put their blindfolds back on. And we have 2 bombshells coming in. That is Charlie. He's 27 from the UK. And we also have Sierra. She's 25. I said, oh, baby, we about to start some shit right now. So the bombshells come in. They kiss everybody. So everyone at this point takes their blindfolds off. And Adriana has to, is her name Adriana or Ariana? I think it's Adriana. She ends up telling them, like, hey, did everybody get a kiss? And they're like, yeah. She's like, well, the last kiss was from the bombshells. And that's where we left off for episode 2. It was like a cliffhanger of like, hey, we got some new people in the house. So we start episode 2 and we're asking like, oh, does anybody want to get to know the bombshells a little bit more? Now, all the guys raise their hands and Yulissa raises her hand. So Jeremiah, he ends up asking, where did Huda go? And she's like, I didn't get up. But she did get a kiss. However, this is where things get real spicy because The bombshells ends up texting like the people that they were interested in, so that way they can join them in the hideaway. Shelly and Nick are chosen. And here's the thing, Nick raised his hand because he wanted to get to know this person better. However, Shelly didn't even put her hand up. So they go meet the bombshells or whatever while everybody else is discussing what just happened. So Huda, she said she already knew that Ace is the person that kissed her. And Alondria, she only admits that she got a kiss, that she had kissed Nick. Not that she kissed Ace. And I'm just like, well, girl, that's a little shocker. I'm a bit surprised that you're not admitting to that one. So when it comes to the guys, though, Ace is like, he already knew who kissed him. And he's like, I got 3 kisses. So they all knew Shelly for sure. But Jeremiah is over there like asking all these questions. And I'm like, wait a second, buddy. Huda is not your girlfriend. Like, you don't own her. Scoot back a little bit. And Taylor is like, well, listen, it's got to be between our 2 girls, okay? Either it was, Alondria or it was Huda. Now, Jeremiah, he don't know what to believe because Huda already told him, she didn't get up. Baby, one thing about Ace, I will say that I peeped in this scene. He likes to stir the pot and he likes to get under Jeremiah's skin. He really do. So we do see Alondria. She does have a conversation with Taylor and she finally admits that she kissed Ace. But, she's like, I just had to see what that was like. And here's the thing. She also throws out the fact that Ace has wandering eyes. And she's like, but we have a good connection. And here's my thing. Ace has wandering eyes for sure. But I feel like that's kind of like the name of the game at this point. Because all y'all don't know each other. You don't. You don't really know them. And this is your opportunity to get to know everybody. Okay? So in the hideaway, they're just chatting it up, having a good old time. However, we do see Austin and Bella, they're having a conversation because at this point, they ain't even got their partners. So Bella is like, I'm just hoping that Nick will be honest with me about whatever happens in the hideaway. And I'm just like, okay, because when we jump over there, it's very clear that Nick is way more into Sierra. It's very obvious. It's very clear. And I'm just like, Bella, you about to lose your man. I can already see it right now. Now, Jeremiah, again, he is still over there being territorial. And I'm just like, sir, you do not own this woman. Please stop. So everybody goes to bed. And we see Huda and Alondria. They talk or whatever. And Alondria is kind of like, isn't it a little weird the way Jeremiah be acting? But Huda was like, no, I don't see a problem with that. And I'm just like, I'm telling you, he about to love bomb this girl. And I'm not sure if he really into her, he just trying to smash. I'm trying to figure it out. So Huda and Jeremiah, they do talk. And she finally tells him about that kiss that she had with Ace. Now, of course, he kissed her. And I'm just like, okay, cool. At least you finally told him. So we get to the hideaway. And yeah, who cares? Moving on. Austin, he has a conversation with Taylor. And he's like, he doesn't know how strong his connection with Shelly is. And I'm like, not strong. Not strong at all. I'm sorry, I don't see it for Shelly and Austin. It's not giving me that vibe. So Taylor, he ends up telling him, like, listen, if she go with the other guy, don't waste your time trying to double back to her. Just move on to the next lady. Which to me is a good advice because, like I said, y'all all just getting to know each other. If that ain't the person for you, you can absolutely move on. So then we see Bella and Huda, they're talking. And she's still trying to question, like, I don't know where I stand with Nick right now. And I'm just like, girl, you just need to, number one, have a real conversation with him and open up a little bit more. Because, yeah, your pace and his pace, it ain't gonna never work if we want to be honest. So the people in the hideaway finally come out. The girls talk and the boys talk. And everyone basically says that they had a good night. Had a good time in the hideaway. And when I tell y'all Nick is not checking for Bella, he is checked all the way out. He is into Sierra, and there is clearly no going back. I don't care what he was talking about, how he's so torn between the two. Sir, you are not LaToya Luckett. You are not torn between the two. You are moving on like Maya. Okay? So, next thing you know, Austin and Shelly have this conversation, and basically she tells him that, she's still interested in him. I'm just kind of like, are you, girl? Like, I just don't see it. I don't see it. We do see Ace and Sierra have a conversation, and I'm just like, Ace, you really for everybody, but I'm gonna let you slide, okay? Because you are trying to explore your options. Bella and Charlie, they have a conversation. Honestly, with the way they were talking, it was given he was more of her speed, especially more than Nick. However, I feel like because Nick was her first person, she's trying to hold on to that, and I want her to move on. Here's the thing. I'm gonna skip right on over Sierra and Taylor having a conversation. It wasn't that important. Nick talks to Ace about how he's so torn. But Ace tells him, like, listen, you just need to be honest, okay? At the end of the day, we here to explore our options. And if you want to do, I do, but if you want to be in a couple with Sierra, then do that. At the same time, just don't try to, like, string Bella along and pretend like you want to be with her. So, this man basically says that he feels like Sierra is into him, but he doesn't feel the same about Bella. I'm like, no, that's not true. You never gave Bella a chance, if we want to be honest. And Bella, you never really opened up. So I feel like there was never a space for y'all to even meet in the middle. So, and in that moment, I think he did say, he hasn't really given Bella the time to get to know her. But baby, you gave Sierra all the time. All the time you had in that hideaway. Because at this point, if we want to be honest, Sierra has spent more time with Nick than Bella has. So then we see Ace, he want to talk to Shelly. And here's the thing. She was hanging out with her girls. And the way they was flirting, that shit was cute. It was real cute to me. He tells her that he missed her and how, she got taken away from him. I said, no, sir. You're the one who got taken away, but I see how you trying to flip this. So basically he tells her that, he sees that she's a hot commodity out here. He see that everybody is checking for her, and he let it be known he wants to pursue her, and how, he has enjoyed all the kisses that they've shared. But at the end of the day, he does know that both of them are exploring their own options. I'm like, okay, at some point, baby, he gonna get Shelly. I can already see it. Okay, and I'm low-key here for it, okay? So, moving on from there, we see Jeremiah, right? He already trying to match outfits with Huda. He went in there and was like, when she was getting ready, like, oh, girl, what you wearing? What outfit or what color you about to be wearing? And I'm like, sir, this is not your girlfriend. Could you please scoot back a little bit? Like, you are giving love bombing energy. It's been, 24 hours? Probably less than that. So, after everybody got ready, right? And the ladies come back downstairs, I'm like, yo, why is everybody walking in like a couple except for Ace? I'm like, yo, where is that girl at? I'm like, yeah, okay. It's definitely giving he don't like you, Lisa, right? That's my thought process the whole time. I never caught the fact that Yulissa was gone. I was like, wait, when did she leave? What happened here? So now we see Nick. He does talk to Bella, finally. He been avoiding her ass all day. He tells her about the kiss with Sierra and how, his feelings are split. So even in this conversation, y'all, he is still not trying to get to know Bella. This was just so that he can tell her that, hey, girl, this has been nice, but really I want to get to know somebody else. So after that, Shelly and Charlie, they talk, and baby, he want her bad. He want her real bad, okay? To the point where, he over here trying to steal kisses from her. And I'm like, yo, I don't know about you either. You poured it on a little too thick. Don't trust you. So Jeremiah and Sierra have a conversation. Now this is where I'm just like, okay, Huda and Jeremiah, they need to slow their roll. First of all, he don't even seem interested in Sierra. Like, straight up, he did not really seem interested. I'm like, okay, why are y'all acting like y'all are already closed off? And it ain't even been a full 2 days. Now, at the same time that they're talking, Huda keeps walking by. Then she decides to sit across from them. And I'm just like, okay, what are we doing here? So both of y'all are going to be very overprotective of each other. So y'all are pretty much locked in. Y'all should just say that. So here's the thing. It even gets to the point where Huda pulls him away. And I'm just like, yo, y'all are too locked in. That man can have a conversation with somebody. It's fine. Like, both of y'all low-key seem like y'all have a jealous streak. Like, she was feeling some type of way that he was talking to Sierra. And then he was feeling a way about her getting a kiss from Ace. I'm just like, all right, y'all not together for real. Relax. Taylor, he ends up talking to Ace. And Taylor says that he's actually interested in Huda. However, he knows that she's basically closed off. So everyone gathers at the fire pit, right? And we do see that it's time for Sierra and Charlie to get coupled up. I'm like, all right, cool. So here's the thing. When it comes to, if you're interested to, get an opportunity to be with the other person, you have to go stand up. First person up is Nick. Baby Nick jumped up so quick. He was ready to be with Sierra. I already knew he was about to leave Bella. And then we have Shelly and Austin. Surprisingly, Austin was the one that stood up. I said, whoa, wait a second. I did not expect that. Jeremiah and Huda, not surprised. They are locked in. So then we see Ace, he gets a text, and it says that he is now single. And I was like, well, again, when did they say Ulysses was going? I missed it. Also, what'd she do to get disqualified? I'm like, damn, it was only day 1, girl. So, next thing you know, it's Taylor and Alondria's turn. And Taylor gets up. And I was a little bit surprised. I did not expect that from him. But I feel like after, learning about the kiss with her going to Nick and Ace, he like, okay, cool, I can move around. So, I do feel like she likes Taylor. However, you can already tell she feeling away. Oh, Alondria's definitely feeling away. Now, here's the thing. You can hear Huda constantly telling Jeremiah, like, oh, babe, you get brownie points. And, these girls, they deserve real men. And they deserve better, ladies. And all this stuff. And I think that at this point, she thinks that she's being a supportive friend. And, really trying to be there for her girls. But Alondria, I feel like she low-key thought it was, a little bit of shade. Because y'all know what it low-key gave me? If you've ever heard the song Shantae's Got a Man by Shantae Moore, that is what this was giving. In the song, Shantae is going on about how her man do this, her man do that. It ain't my fault that my man is good and y'all man ain't. And that's the energy that Huda was giving for me. Like, I got Jeremiah. Like, we are locked in. We're good. But y'all, I don't know about y'all, man. Y'all need to get some new men. Girl, scoot back a little bit. You ain't got to rub it in. So, basically, Alondria was like, girl, we'll have a chat about this later. Like, low-key, Huda, you was being a little bit messy. Okay? So, here's the thing. Nobody stood up for Charlie. Not a single girl. However, when it comes to Sierra, she decides that she's going to go with Nick. And I'm just like, okay, we all knew that was coming. So, Alondria, she ends up getting a text, and it says that Ace, Austin, and Taylor can all now sit down. However, here's the thing. When it came to them sitting down, when Taylor sat down, oh, baby, Alondria scooted right the fuck over. She was not trying to be near that man. And I'm like, okay, girl, you also kissed somebody else, so you cannot be this mad, okay? So, after that, Bella gets a text saying that she's single, Ace is single, as well as Charlie, and that wraps up episode 2. Now, for episode 3, y'all, we see the boys, they're talking, and of course, Nick is explaining how Bella is his type, but they haven't elevated. Sir, you did not try. Like, it is frustrating to watch him try to play and make it seem like, oh, the connection with Sierra is just so much stronger. Baby, you were trying to get rid of Bella when you said this is a middle school pace. Please stop playing in my face. Like, you moved on to Sierra. At this point, have a good time with her, okay? Now, Taylor, he peeps that when he sat down, Alondra scooted away from him. And Jeremiah is like, she can't feel some type of way because at the end of the day, she kissed somebody else. And I said, you know what, Jeremiah? You definitely have a point. So then Ace, he ends up telling the group that, listen, I want all of us to explore our options, okay? Because nobody should really be this locked down. And then he tells Jeremiah, I want that for you as well. However, I don't feel like Jeremiah is hearing him. First of all, I don't really think he like Ace like that. But I don't think he's hearing him at all, if we want to be completely honest. So then we see Ace basically say how, it wasn't cool how Huda was making it seem like whoever you're with now, that's who you need to be locked in with. She shouldn't have been making those comments to the other ladies. And I'm like, you know what? I do agree with you because, listen, we just got here, okay? Less than 24 hours. Y'all absolutely have the option to move around. Now, Austin, he basically feels like, he made a dumb decision by standing up because he thought Shelly was going to stand up, but she didn't. And I'm just kind of like, what's crazy about that whole situation is that if the roles were reversed and the guys had to kiss a lady first, I don't think Austin would have kissed Shelly. I really don't. I'm sorry to say it, but I don't know. I don't think he would have kissed her first, but whatever, sir. Jump on over to the ladies. So Bella and Alondra, they're talking, and then out of nowhere, we see Huda is over here in tears with Shelly. And she basically is crying because of what Alondra said to her. Girl, this was nothing to sit up here and cry about. Like, y'all ain't even friends, okay? You're not sisters. There is no sisterhood. Relax. Y'all gotta get to know each other, number one. Number two, it wasn't that deep. So Alondra is like, I didn't mean for anything to make somebody cry. Like, that was never my intention. So then Huda, for me, I feel like she was doing way too much, okay? And Alondra, she felt like, the girls, they could talk about this situation later when they were, in a private setting away from the guys. And here's the thing. I honestly did not get Mean Girl from Alondra. I didn't. I just feel like she was like, girl, you doing too much. So then we see Nick and Sierra. Of course, they're talking, and we can clearly see he's making so much more effort with her over how he was with Bella. Very clear. So then we see Huda and Alondra talk, and Alondra, she kind of clears the air and says, listen, I didn't mean it in no bad type of way. And next thing you know, the ladies are on good terms. Good for them. However, Taylor comes up because he wants to talk to Alondra, and he's like, at the end of the day, I wanted to explore other options, but also at the same time, we haven't really talked. So she basically tells him that she's a little irritated because he stood up. And here's the thing, girl. I like you. I really do like Alondra. But I feel like because she thinks that he checks off a lot of boxes for her, that she wants to lock in with him. Even though she still wants to see what else is out there. And I'm like, girl, you cannot have it both ways. Like, yes, he's the cowboy. He's all the things that you said you wanted. But you can't sit up here and try to hold him in one place while you over there kissing other guys. That's never going to work, okay? And I feel like she was embarrassed because she thought that she had him locked down. But really, after he found out that, she kissed somebody, oh, it's a free-for-all, baby. We all in the streets. So, when he brought up the fact that, she kissed somebody else, I feel like she was taken aback that he even mentioned that. Like, she was just kind of not frozen, but just kind of stuck. And she's like, there's more than one way to view it. I'm like, ooh, Alondra, that wasn't the response, baby. And I feel like maybe she need to go sleep it off and think about it. You know what I mean? So Austin and Shelly have this conversation, and he still wants her to know that he's really into her. And she's like, let's just see where all this goes. Shelly says that she doesn't want to keep jumping around. And she to me is a lot cooler about the situation than everybody else. Because again, I feel like when it comes to Shelly, the reason why she not tripping off Austin standing up is because she knows that she has multiple guys that are checking for her. And I think that's also the thing about some of the other ladies. No one has really shown them that they're interested. No other guy has really put Bella to the side trying to get to know her. So I feel like that is why she's trying to cling to Nick. Same thing with Alondria. Yeah, Nick may have kissed her, but at the same time, like, he ain't trying to have no conversations with her. So I feel like they're trying to cling on to the guys that they're with because nobody else is really showing them interest like that. So next thing you know, we basically see Alondria is talking to the girls, and she feels like Taylor is swayed after having a quick 10-minute conversation with Sierra. And I'm just kind of like, girl, I don't even think it's that. He was low-key giving you a taste of your own medicine. But I feel like, again, we're here to explore people. We can't be mad. Also, at the same time, the same way you're saying that he's only had a 10-minute conversation with her, the conversation that he didn't have with you ain't been that long either, okay? So Shelly ends up asking Bella, did she talk to Nick? And she's like, you know what? I don't even want to talk about that right now because now she's feeling some type of way. Now, everyone, they get ready for bed, and we see Ace. He pulls Shelly to the side. And even though he was shocked that Austin stood up, he thought like this was going to be his chance to swoop in. And y'all, I am cracking up at the fact that after they had that conversation, she ended up walking into the room, and he waited, a couple of minutes before he walked in to make sure things don't look suspicious. Now, my question is this, because like I said, everybody's going to bed. Huda and Jeremiah. Huda, Jeremiah, what were y'all doing? What was y'all doing in that bed? Because it was giving, there was some motion going on underneath them covers. So the next morning, y'all, Ace ends up making breakfast for Bella, Shelly, and Alondria, right? I'm like, okay, that's a really sweet gesture of him. And then we absolutely see Taylor. He brings Alondria a plate. I said, oh, okay, so I guess maybe we're trying to make some progress with that. Now, we do see Huda and Jeremiah talk, and basically she says that she feels like they're the mom and dad of the group. Girl, what? What are you talking about? Like, according to her, she's getting more comfortable with him, and here's the thing, she does plan on telling him that she's a mom at some point. And I'm just like, girl, make it sooner rather than later. Now, we see Sierra and Nick, they are bonding over the movie Shrek. Then we jump on over to Bella and Huda, who are talking, and Bella is feeling really small right now. And like I said, it's because it's not looking like there's any other guys that are checking for her. So she does let Huda know that she hasn't talked to Nick, and Huda is like, listen, I got you, you're my girl. She's really trying to support Bella in this moment. I just feel like, Bella, girl, you just got to get your head in the game and start flirting with these dudes. Like, for real. Put you on a fire-ass bikini, because that's all y'all wear, and go start talking to them. Come on now. So then when Huda actually sees Nick, she basically tell him, like, listen, you need to go have a conversation with Bella. Okay? Like, how have you not had a conversation with her at this point? Because he don't want to. That's why. He don't want to talk to her. Okay? He would rather just go kick it with Sierra. And Huda basically tells him that Bella feels like this has been a slap in the face. So, the only person that we've seen Bella talk to is Charlie. Girl, that ain't the move either. So, Taylor has a conversation with Alondria, and she does apologize for her reaction. And I feel like they definitely need to chat more. Now, when they talk about, like, what type of, I think their love languages, both of them say that, they're gift givers. And here's the thing. I do feel like they have a lot in common, but I'm not sure if he's going to stick around. I'm really not sure. It's giving that he will wander elsewhere. Even though him and Alondra could absolutely have the most in common and agree on a lot of things, I feel like there's still a lot of guys out here who they can have the woman who technically matches them to a T, and they still want to go out and see what else is going on. Okay? So Nick finally has a conversation with Bella. Now, he swears that he still like her. I don't believe him. Then he's over here saying that, he was giving her a side eye when she didn't go for a real kiss. Sir, could you please just be so for real? Okay? Ever since then, you did not like her. Okay? And she feels like he made her look like a fool. And that, he didn't really communicate with her. Here's the thing. At this point, she not really trying to give him another shot. And I don't think that she should. Girl, if he would have told you, hey, I'm moving on with Sierra, you still would feel the same way, okay? So the whole, you have me looking like a fool, that don't really work in this scenario to me because it was pretty obvious. So then she basically tells him that she hopes that he does well with Sierra and that the ball is in his court. Baby, that ball is not in his fucking court. That ball is in your hand and you are walking off of his court and you're going to go find somebody else to play basketball with. What are we talking about here? Come on. So we do see Ace and Shelly. They have a conversation, and we also see Sierra going to talk to Bella and Alondra or whatever. And it seems like Bella and Sierra are only really drawn to Nick, and that's going to be a problem because Bella, you don't need to be thirsting after him. He already moved on to this other girl. Please, have some dignity. Now, everybody is getting ready, right? And Ace ends up telling Taylor how, it's so easy to talk to Shelly. And then we see Ace talk to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah says that his type is foreign or Latina. So if something is foreign and they come into the house, then he might leave Huda. Y'all, I'm so disgusted. Just with him using the term foreign is a problem. Okay? What does that even mean, sir? Oh, does that mean anything but black? Anything but black and white girl? What does that mean? They have to be Middle Eastern? They have to be can they be Asian? What does foreign even mean? What are we talking about? Nonetheless, Huda ends up talking to Shelly about the fact that, she's a mom and she don't know when to tell Jeremiah. Girl, just share it at this point, please. You might as well get this over with. So Shelly, girl, go set yourself free. And let's just go ahead and get to the game. So we have this game where the people have these briefcases and they have to put them in order according to the question, right? So, for example, the first question was, who has cheated the most, right? Austin has cheated 6 times. Jeremiah has cheated once. And I want to say the only girl who cheated was Shelly. And then the boys ended up winning that round because they got it right. Next question was, who has had the most amount of partners in one day? Charlie had 1. Austin had 4. Nick had 2. And then for the girls, we only see that Bella had 1. Shelly had 2. And here's the thing. Baby was dating 2 girls, okay? She said she had 1 in the morning, 1 in the night, okay? Shout out to Shelly. And Huda, she said the first guy, he didn't finish the job, so she had to call boyfriend number 2 like Pleasure P, okay? And then we get the question of, who do you think has told people, I love you the most? Ace says 0. Come to find out, he lied. Jeremiah says 10. Nick says 50. 50! I said, what is wrong with you? Then we see Bella is 1, Huda is 2, Shelly is 2. Who has sent the most nudes? Ace, 3. Taylor, 5. Charlie, 0. However, he was lying. Nick, 800. I'm sorry, Nick, are you okay? Jeremiah, 50. Austin in the thousands. Again, y'all, the pool boy was sending nudes to them old ladies. Okay? I know it. And I feel like he was probably sending random pics to ladies who didn't even ask for it. Okay? Just sending it to the inbox. Just sliding it into the DMs. Disgusting. As far as the ladies, we have Bella with 0, Huda 20, Shelly 5, Alondria 15, and Sierra 5. Highest body count. Charlie, 108. He's a hoe. He has 108. Taylor, 21. Nick, 22. Jeremiah, 32. Ace, 25. And Austin, 104. Y'all, the white boys is hoes. Baby, the white boys is hoes. So, we jump over to the ladies. Bella, 1. Keep in mind, I think Bella is the youngest, and she's like 22. And it's definitely given whoever that guy was that she was with absolutely broke her heart. So, nonetheless, Alondria, 8. Huda, 13. Sierra, 18. Shelly, 12. And the winner of this game is the boys. So the girls, they talk afterwards, and baby, they are shocked by Austin. Who is this man? He's sending out nudes on the daily. You know what I mean? He done slept it with everybody. Like, who is this man? So, the way he also is portrayed is as if he's so innocent, but baby, he ain't innocent at all. And then Charlie, you know, he ain't no different. I'm just like, listen, the white boys is doing a lot, okay, in comparison to the black guys. And the guys, they feel like, you know, the girls, they kind of like trash them a little bit. And I'm just like, did they? Not really. Okay? They was just calling y'all out, number one, on some of y'all lies, and they're shocked by some of these numbers. So Huda, she says that she feels like, you know, Jeremiah is love bombing her. You know, she felt that way in the beginning, and she wasn't surprised by his numbers. Now, here's the thing. She's questioning if, when he was saying all these love yous to these women, did he treat them the same way that he's treating her right now? And here's the thing. Why would we jump over to the guys? Ace is over here trying to fuck with Jeremiah head. Because he like, yeah, you know, she had to get 2 guys to finish the job. Do you think you're equipped for that? And Jeremiah's like, no, I got it. I love to know a woman's body, blah, blah, blah. And Ace is like, but what if you don't? What if you can't? Baby, Ace loves to fuck with him. I kind of laugh every single time. Okay? So we do see Huda and Jeremiah talk, right? And here's the thing. She wants to start off with the amount of time that he said, I love you. However, according to him, the higher numbers was really when he was in high school. And I think he's like 25 or something? And he says that since the age of 20, he's only said that maybe once or twice. Now, Huda, she ends up asking him what his non-negotiables are. And he says long-term friendships. You have to have some friends from a long time. And you got to be family-oriented. So she's like, okay, well, I want you to get to know me on a deeper level. And I'm just like, okay, girl, spit it out. Because at that point, she started to ramble. Because she's like, you know, there's a reason why I'm just so emotionally mature. Girl, who said that? Who said that you were emotionally mature? I haven't seen it. Because, girl, you should have been plain and simple getting this information out to begin with if you were. Nonetheless, like I said, I feel like she is dragging this. And even though she says that she's not ashamed, she probably feels like if I tell him, then he probably ain't gonna want me. So I'm just like, well, girl, just spit it out and let's see what happens. So she's like, you know, I want to be honest with you. And she finally says she's a mom. Baby, he's taken aback. He's confused. His little reaction, I said, sir, why are you doing all that? Why are you holding your hands, your face in your hands and shit? Like, what are you doing? I don't know. We'll see what his actual reaction to that is on the next episode. And at the same time, we literally see Ace talk to Taylor. And Ace says that, you know, he has his eyes, his good eyes, on Jeremiah because he feels like, listen, there's something off about Jeremiah. He's giving love bomber. And I think he only said that he told 10 people that he loved them, right? And honestly, y'all, am I trying to defend this man? No. But I'm like, okay, he's 25 years old. And he said that since he was like 20, it's only been one or two. I feel like that number probably could be numbers 3 and 4. People be lying. And he absolutely probably love bombed some girls when he was in high school. Because in high school, a lot of people think that they were in love with people, and they were not. Okay? Also, the fact that people really be counting these high school relationships blow my mind. Okay? But do I think it's absolutely impossible for him to have said this to somebody that many times? No. But y'all, that was the episode, okay? So let's see where we are going with Love Island this season. Who am I feeling right now? Honestly, I like Shelly. I like Alondria. Bella just got to get her head in the game. I don't think she's a bad person. Sierra seems cool because she know who she is. You know what I mean? She owns up to everything. And Huda, I'm not sure how I feel about her just yet. I'm just not sure. As far as the guys, the guys is cool, like, but nobody has really stood out to me yet. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Yes, I will be reviewing this show probably in multiple episode increments because, baby, unless it's a really good episode, that's what I'll do, just a single review. But yeah, let me know what y'all thought about it. Who are y'all faves? Who do y'all hope hooks up? Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.